The twin suns of Zorath Prime cast a golden glow across the vast alien city. Hovercrafts zipped through the sky in smooth arcs, leaving colorful trails of light behind them. The streets below were alive with movement, a mix of creatures from countless worlds, all drawn here by the promise of trade, curiosity, or adventure. Humans were rare in these parts, but they were noticed quickly, often treated with both fascination and caution. Ethan, a young human explorer, had always dreamed of visiting distant planets, meeting strange beings, and discovering things no one on Earth had ever seen, and now, after months of travel, he finally stood in the heart of Zorath's greatest attraction, the Grand Market. The market was enormous, stretching for miles, with stalls stacked upon each other like a giant honeycomb. The air was filled with the scent of unknown spices, the hum of alien music, and the chatter of languages Ethan had never heard before. He walked slowly, taking in every detail. One stall caught his attention more than the rest. Above it was a sign written in glowing, flowing symbols, which he roughly understood thanks to his translation device. Companions of the heart, find your perfect match. Curiosity pricked at him. He had heard of alien markets selling all sorts of unusual things, but this was something else. As he approached, he noticed a group of beings standing in glass enclosures, each one looking at the crowd with a mix of curiosity and excitement. They were described as love companions, a traditional Zorath custom misunderstood by outsiders. Among them, one being stood out. She was humanoid in shape, with soft, iridescent skin that shimmered like the surface of a pearl. Her eyes were large and expressive, a deep violet that seemed almost alive. Her hair floated slightly as if the air itself wanted to lift it, and most of all, she smiled, a warm, mischievous smile that immediately drew Ethan in. "Hello there," the alien said in a sing-song voice that sounded almost musical. "I'm Lyra. Are you here to choose a companion?" Ethan blinked. His translator device had barely finished converting her words. He nodded slowly. I think I am, but I don't really understand how this works." Lyra laughed, a sound like wind chimes. "Most humans don't. You think buying a companion means owning someone. It doesn't. Not really. Here, a companion is someone who chooses to share life with you. The market is just a ceremony, a way to meet the right person." Ethan relaxed slightly, feeling a mix of relief and fascination. "So you choose?" "Exactly." Lyra stepped closer to the glass, pressing a hand to it. "I choose anyone I want to spend time with. And I already feel curious about you." He felt a flutter of excitement in his chest. Never had he imagined meeting someone like this, someone genuinely interested in him, not out of duty but curiosity and joy. "Well, I'm Ethan," he said, smiling back. "Ethan," she repeated, rolling the name around on her tongue. "I like that." A small attendant, a thin insectoid creature with bright blue eyes, hovered nearby. "Shall we proceed with the selection?" it asked politely. Ethan hesitated. He wasn't sure what proceed meant in this context. Lyra tilted her head, her smile encouraging him. "It's simple," she explained. "If you want me to be your companion, we go through the ceremony. It's just a few steps, nothing complicated, and if either of us changes our mind, well, there's always a way back. No one is trapped." That sounded reasonable. Ethan nodded. "All right, let's do it." The insectoid attendant gestured, and the glass panel opened with a soft hiss. Lyra stepped out gracefully, moving as if the floor itself welcomed her. Her presence was mesmerizing. Her energy seemed to fill the space around her, and Ethan felt both nervous and thrilled. "You're real," he said softly, almost to himself. Lyra laughed again. "Of course I'm real, and you're about to discover just how much fun life can be." The ceremony was simple but elaborate. Ethan signed a small glowing tablet that acted as a ceremonial agreement. The words shifted in light as he touched them, translating into English automatically. "This is not ownership," the tablet read. "This is a mutual bond, a choice of companionship. Both parties may withdraw consent at any time." Ethan smiled. This was exactly what he wanted. Not a servant, not a possession, but a companion he could explore the universe with. Lyra extended her hand. "Shall we?" He took it, feeling a jolt of energy run through his arm as their hands met. It wasn't magic. It was something more subtle. A connection that made him feel alive and awake in a way he hadn't felt in years. Once the ceremony was complete, the market seemed to brighten. Not literally, but in Ethan's mind, everything seemed sharper, more colorful. He and Lyra walked through the streets together, talking and laughing. She asked him about Earth, about humans, and he told her stories about oceans, mountains, cities, and quiet nights under starry skies. In turn, Lyra told him about her world. Floating cities, rivers of light, animals that could communicate through colors, and a culture where joy and curiosity were considered the highest forms of intelligence. As they wandered, Ethan noticed the way other beings looked at them. Some were surprised, some curious, and some smiling. It seemed that the idea of a human and Illyrian companion exploring the market together was unusual but not unwelcome. "You humans are interesting," Lyra said as they paused near a stall selling glowing crystals. "You carry so much energy but also so much restraint." "It's fascinating," Ethan laughed. "I think that's a polite way of saying humans are weird." "Perhaps," she replied, tilting her head. "But your weirdness is charming." They stopped at a food stall where alien fruits and pastries steamed in colorful displays. Lyra selected a small round fruit that glowed softly and offered it to Ethan. He hesitated, unsure what it would taste like. "Trust me," Lyra said with a grin. "You'll love it." He took a bite. Sweet, tangy, and unlike anything he had ever tasted, it made him close his eyes in surprise. Lyra laughed, clearly pleased with his reaction. "See? Life is about trying new things, enjoying little surprises." Hours passed in a blur. They played games with other market-goers, haggled over curiosities, and even tried on holographic outfits that changed color and shape with their movements. Ethan felt a thrill he hadn't felt since he first dreamed of exploring the stars. As the twin suns began to set, casting long shadows across the market, Lyra turned to him. "Tomorrow we leave for your home planet, right?" Ethan nodded. "Yes, I want to show you Earth. I think you'll love it." "I'm excited," Lyra said, her eyes sparkling. "Not because it's Earth, but because we'll discover it together." And in that moment, Ethan realized something important. This wasn't just the beginning of a journey across the stars. It was the beginning of a partnership, a bond built on curiosity, respect, and joy. Whatever challenges awaited them in the vastness of space, he knew they would face them together, and that thought filled him with hope. The market faded behind them as they walked to his ship. But in his heart, the colors, the music, and Lyra's laughter would stay with him forever. It was the first day of an adventure that would change both of their lives in ways neither could yet imagine. Ethan helped Lyra aboard the ship, securing her in the passenger seat. She looked around, fascinated by the human technology she had never seen before. "It's so primitive," she said, eyes wide. "And yet, I like it. It feels real." "That's the best part," Ethan replied, smiling. "Sometimes the simplest things are the most amazing." As the engines roared to life and the spaceship lifted off, Ethan took one last look at the alien market below. He knew they were leaving a world behind, but the adventure ahead, full of unknown wonders, dangers, and discoveries, felt infinitely more exciting. And Lyra, sitting beside him, was ecstatic about the journey to come, not because she was bound to him, but because she had chosen to be there. And that choice made every moment brighter, every star more dazzling, and every dream more real. The spaceship hummed steadily as it cut through the endless darkness of space. Stars streaked past like tiny sparks, and distant nebulae painted the void in soft blues and purples. Ethan sat at the controls, monitoring the ship's systems, while Lyra leaned against the console, her eyes wide with excitement. "I still can't believe this is happening," she said, her voice filled with wonder. "I've seen many humans before, but never one like you." Ethan smiled, a little embarrassed. "I guess I'm not very ordinary." "Ordinary?" she repeated, laughing. "Ethan, you're full of curiosity, bravery, and humor. Those are qualities humans rarely show to outsiders. You are extraordinary." Ethan felt a warmth in his chest. Even among alien worlds, her words made him feel proud of his humanity. "I'm glad you think that," he said softly. Lyra floated closer, her iridescent skin catching the dim light of the spaceship. "I like humans because you do things differently. You solve problems not just with strength or skill, but with creativity. That is fascinating to me." Ethan leaned back in his seat thinking, I suppose it's just what we've learned. Survive, adapt, explore. Maybe that's why humans manage to do well even in the strangest situations. Lyra's eyes sparkled. I want to see that. I want to see how humans handle the universe. The ship passed through a dense asteroid field, and Ethan's skills as a pilot were immediately put to the test. He maneuvered the ship deftly between the massive rocks, keeping their path smooth and steady. Lyra watched with fascination, her violet eyes tracking every movement. You are skilled, she said, a grin spreading across her face. I've seen many pilots, but few can dance with the stars like you do. Ethan chuckled. It's nothing compared to what you do. Your world. You have abilities I don't understand yet. I can only imagine the adventures you've had. Lyra tilted her head, clearly enjoying the challenge. Oh, I've had many adventures, yes. But I never thought I'd have one like this. Traveling with a human exploring planets I never knew existed. It's thrilling. As they passed a particularly bright cluster of stars, a small red alert lit up on the control panel. Ethan frowned. Sensors are picking up something unusual ahead. I'm not sure what it is yet. Lyra floated closer, her hands hovering over the display. Let me see. Maybe I can help. Using her unique abilities, which seemed to blend intuition and some kind of telepathic sense, Lyra focused on the readings. It's not dangerous, she said finally, but it's curious. A small craft drifting without a beacon. Could be lost travelers or something else, Ethan nodded. Let's check it out. We can't just ignore someone in trouble. The spaceship approached the drifting vessel, its surface scarred and worn. As they came closer, Ethan saw movement inside, a small group of alien beings, clearly frightened and confused. Don't worry, Lyra said softly. We're here to help. Ethan guided the ship alongside the vessel, carefully using the docking clamps to secure it. Lyra floated to the airlock, extending her hands in a calming gesture. The aliens inside looked at her and then at Ethan, their fear slowly replaced by relief. You humans, one of them said, speaking in broken galactic common. You help? Ethan smiled, always. We help whenever we can, Lyra translated quickly, ensuring they understood the plan. Together they guided the aliens into their ship, offering food, warmth, and comfort. Ethan watched as Lyra laughed and played with the newcomers, using her charm and energy to ease their fear. He realized then that her joy was genuine. She wasn't bound to him. She was excited to share life and adventures with others. The rescued aliens settled in, grateful for the help. Ethan felt a deep sense of pride. Humans really do make a difference, he said quietly to Lyra. You already do, she replied, her smile radiant. Your courage, your willingness to help, it's inspiring. As the ship resumed its course toward Earth, Lyra began teaching Ethan about alien navigation. Using a combination of star charts, energy readings, and instinct, she showed him how her people could find paths through space that were nearly invisible to normal sensors. This is amazing, Ethan said, his hands moving over the controls as he tried to replicate her methods. I never thought navigating the stars could feel like painting a picture, Lyra nodded. Every journey is art, every choice changes the outcome. That is why I love exploring. And with you, it feels even more exciting. The next day, Ethan decided to show Lyra how humans maintained and repaired their ships. He led her to the engine room, explaining each part and its function. Lyra observed carefully, her hands moving with precision as she adjusted components with a skill that rivaled his own. You are a quick learner, Ethan said. I didn't think anyone could pick this up so fast. I like learning, Lyra replied simply. And I like helping, especially when it makes a human happy. Over the following days, their bond grew stronger. They shared meals, swapped stories, and played small games to pass the time. Lyra was fascinated by human humor, laughing at jokes Ethan hadn't even realized were funny. And Ethan, in turn, was constantly amazed by Lyra's perspective on life, her ability to find joy in even the smallest details. One evening, as the spaceship glided past a nebula that glowed like liquid gold, Lyra floated to the observation deck. Look at that, she whispered. It's beautiful. Ethan joined her, resting his hand on hers. The nebula stretched across the horizon, vast and radiant. It is, he agreed. I never thought space could feel alive like this. It's alive, Lyra said softly. Every star, every planet, every being. It's all part of something greater, and we're part of it too. Ethan squeezed her hand, feeling a sense of peace he hadn't known before. I'm glad we're part of it together. Their peaceful journey, however, was not without challenges. A few days later, the ship's sensors picked up a strange signal, a pirate gang known for attacking small vessels in the sector. Ethan tensed.
We might have company, he said, gripping the controls. Lyra floated to his side, her eyes narrowing with determination.
Then we'll show them what humans and their companions can do. As the pirates approached, Ethan's skillful piloting and Lyra's abilities worked together seamlessly. She guided him to dodge attacks, anticipate movements, and even create small diversions using her energy-based abilities. In a thrilling display of teamwork, they outmaneuvered the pirates, sending them fleeing into the void. When the danger passed, Ethan leaned back, breathless but exhilarated. I can't believe we did that. Lyra laughed, her voice ringing like music. Of course we did. Together, nothing is impossible. That night, as the stars stretched endlessly outside the windows, Ethan realized something important. Humans could survive, thrive, and even inspire others in the most dangerous situations. But even more than that, humans could form bonds that crossed species, culture, and worlds. His partnership with Lyra wasn't about ownership. It was about respect, trust, and joy. You know, Ethan said quietly, I think humans really can make a difference. And so can companions like me, Lyra replied with a grin. Especially when we choose to be with humans. The spaceship sailed onward, carrying them closer to Earth. But the real journey, the one that would test their courage, creativity, and friendship, was just beginning. Together, they were ready to face whatever the universe had in store. Ethan leaned back, feeling the hum of the ship beneath him, and looked at Lyra. She was ecstatic, not because she was bound to him, but because she had chosen this adventure herself. And that made every star, every planet, and every moment more dazzling, more alive, and infinitely more exciting. The vastness of space stretched before them, full of wonders, challenges, and mysteries. And with Lyra by his side, Ethan knew they would face it all, not as master and servant, but as partners exploring the universe together. The void of space stretched endlessly around Ethan and Lyra's ship, a dark canvas dotted with sparkling stars. They had been traveling for days, passing through sectors filled with floating debris, drifting satellites, and small asteroid belts. The journey was calm for the moment, giving Ethan a chance to relax and Lyra an opportunity to explore the ship even more. I still can't believe how different human technology is, Lyra said, her violet eyes scanning the panels. It's simple but elegant, and it works. Ethan smiled, leaning back in his chair. Simple works best sometimes. Complicated systems fail when you need them the most. Humans designed for reliability. Lyra's expression was thoughtful. Reliability? That is something I admire about your kind. They were discussing human engineering when the sensors blared, filling the ship with a loud, urgent tone. Ethan's head snapped to the screen. A fleet of small, fast-moving ships was approaching rapidly from the sector ahead. Pirates, Lyra said immediately. Her tone was calm, but her body glimmered with energy, ready for action. We're being tracked. They're looking for small ships like ours. Ethan's hands flew across the controls, activating shields and scanning the incoming fleet. We can't outrun all of them. They're too fast. We need a plan. Lyra floated beside him, her fingers brushing the holographic display. We can trick them. I can sense their energy signatures and predict their maneuvers. If we combine your piloting skills with my guidance, we can create a path they cannot follow. Ethan nodded, trusting her instincts completely. All right, let's do it. The first wave of pirate ships lunged forward, weapons glowing red as they fired. Ethan twisted and turned the ship with precision, dodging energy blasts that would have destroyed a smaller craft. Lyra's alien abilities allowed her to predict each attack before it happened, giving Ethan just enough time to react. You're amazing, Ethan said, gritting his teeth as he avoided another barrage. I've never flown like this before. You humans can adapt quickly, Lyra replied, her voice calm amid the chaos. And you think faster than most of the species I've encountered. That is why I like you. Together, they executed a series of daring maneuvers. Lyra guided Ethan through asteroid fields, using the rocks as cover while simultaneously confusing the pirates. Small energy pulses from her hands created illusions of multiple ships, making it appear they were everywhere at once. The pirates were disoriented, firing at shadows and missing their target repeatedly. After a tense half-hour, the pirate ships began to retreat, realizing they could not outsmart the human and his companion. Ethan's hands shook slightly as he relaxed the controls. We did it, he said, breathless but exhilarated. Lyra floated beside him, smiling. Of course we did. Together we are unstoppable. Ethan looked at her, impressed and amazed. Your abilities, they're incredible. I've never seen anything like it. And your mind, she replied softly, is incredible too. You think creatively, solve problems quickly, and never give up. That is why humans thrive in the universe. The praise made Ethan feel proud. He had always believed humans were capable. But hearing it from someone from a distant world, someone so extraordinary, made the compliment even more meaningful. As the adrenaline faded, Ethan checked the ship's systems. Minor damage had occurred, mostly from the energy blasts scraping the hull. He sighed. We'll have to make repairs soon. We can't keep running like this forever. I can help, Lyra said, her eyes glimmering with energy. I can work on the shields and stabilize the engines while you handle navigation and structural repairs. Ethan nodded. Let's do it. For the next several hours, they worked together, each complementing the other's abilities. Ethan fixed wiring, patched minor hull breaches, and recalibrated the engines. Lyra focused on stabilizing energy flows, enhancing shields, and monitoring the environment for any further threats. Their teamwork was seamless, almost instinctive, as if they had been partners for years. When the repairs were complete, they paused to rest. Lyra floated to the observation deck, gazing out at the stars. "You humans are incredible," she said softly. "Even when faced with danger, you stay calm, think clearly, and adapt. That is why I respect your kind." Ethan joined her, placing a hand gently on hers. "I'm just doing what I know how to do, but having you here makes it easier. I couldn't have done this alone," Lyra smiled. "And you wouldn't have wanted to. Humans are strong, but life is better when shared. Adventures, challenges, even victories. They are sweeter when someone else experiences them with you." Ethan felt a deep warmth in his chest. The connection he shared with Lyra was unlike anything he had ever felt. It wasn't about ownership or control. It was about partnership, trust, and joy. Every choice she made, every laugh, every word of encouragement, made him realize how special humans could be when they embraced cooperation and empathy. The next day, they encountered another obstacle, though of a different kind. Sensors picked up a drifting cargo pod, abandoned and spinning slowly in the void. Ethan's curiosity flared. "Let's see what's inside," he said. Lyra nodded. "Be careful. It could be anything." They approached the pod using mechanical arms to stabilize it. The hatch opened with a hiss, revealing a collection of strange alien devices, glowing crystals, and what appeared to be an old star map. Lyra floated closer, her eyes wide with fascination. These artifacts, they could be important. Perhaps lost explorers or evidence of a civilization we don't know about. Ethan examined the map. It could show a safe route back to Earth, or even shortcuts through unexplored sectors. "This might be more valuable than we realize," Lyra grinned. "Then let's study it together. Humans and their companions make excellent explorers after all." Over the next several hours, they analyzed the artifacts, sharing knowledge and insights. Ethan's human ingenuity combined with Lyra's alien intuition created solutions neither could have found alone. Every discovery made their bond stronger, highlighting the HFY theme: humans are adaptable, clever, and capable of remarkable achievements when paired with trust and collaboration. Later, as they drifted past a nebula with swirling clouds of green and gold gas, Ethan looked at Lyra and smiled. "I never thought space could feel this alive. Every star, every planet, every danger. It feels like an adventure waiting for us." Lyra floated closer, her eyes reflecting the nebula's glow. "That is because it is alive, Ethan, and you are alive too. Your choices, your courage, your heart, they make the universe brighter." Ethan laughed softly. "I think you're exaggerating." "Not at all," she replied, her voice firm but gentle. "Humans have the ability to inspire, to create change, to bring hope, and I am lucky to witness it firsthand." Their journey continued smoothly for a few days, giving them time to rest, talk, and grow closer. They shared stories of their past, dreams for the future, and even joked about the minor challenges they had faced. Lyra's excitement and curiosity were infectious, and Ethan found himself constantly smiling, feeling more alive than he ever had before. One evening, as the ship approached a small uncharted planet, the sensors picked up a faint signal, someone in distress. Ethan frowned. "Another challenge? Are we really lucky in trouble today?" Lyra grinned. "Or perhaps the universe is giving us a chance to show what humans and their companions can do." Together, they prepared to investigate, fully aware that danger might await. But for Ethan, the presence of Lyra made every challenge less frightening, more exciting, and infinitely more meaningful. He realized then that the universe was full of tests, mysteries, and adventures. And humans, clever, adaptable, brave, and kind, had what it took to face them. Lyra's admiration was not just for him, but for what humans represented: the ability to think, adapt, and thrive, even among the stars. As the stars stretched endlessly before them, Ethan and Lyra prepared for the next adventure, ready to face whatever awaited, knowing that together they could overcome anything. Their partnership was not about ownership or duty. It was about choice, respect, and shared joy. And in that truth they found strength, courage, and hope for every challenge yet to come. The spaceship descended through the atmosphere of the colony planet, its surface a patchwork of green forests, glimmering lakes and sprawling cities built with a mix of human and alien architecture. Ethan's heart swelled as he looked out the window. This is where humans and aliens live together peacefully, he said almost to himself. Lyra floated beside him, her eyes wide with wonder. It's beautiful, she said softly. I've seen many worlds, but this one feels alive, vibrant, and welcoming, Ethan smiled. That's why I wanted you to see it. This planet shows what humans can achieve, not just survival, but harmony. The spaceship landed on a smooth platform near the city center. As the ramp lowered, Ethan and Lyra stepped onto solid ground. Immediately, they were greeted by a diverse crowd of humans and aliens mingling together. Bright banners fluttered in the breeze, welcoming travelers from across the galaxy. You'll love this, Ethan said, guiding Lyra through the streets. Humans are always curious about other species, and aliens here have learned to respect each other. It's a good mix of both worlds. Lyra's violet eyes sparkled as she observed everything. It's amazing, the way everyone interacts. I can feel the energy, the joy, the respect. They stopped at a small marketplace filled with both human and alien foods. Ethan pointed to a stall selling earth fruits, snacks, and pastries. Here, try this. These are human favorites. Lyra picked up a small round fruit. Its skin was smooth and red. She examined it curiously, then took a bite. Her eyes lit up. Sweet, tangy, and delicious. Humans know how to make the simple things extraordinary. Ethan laughed. That's one of the best things about Earth. We take ordinary things and make them special. Next, they visited a workshop where humans and aliens worked together to build small spacecraft. Lyra watched as humans adjusted tools and coordinated efforts with aliens who used energy-based technology. Your kind, humans. You adapt quickly, she said. You learn from others and also teach. That is remarkable, Ethan nodded. We have to. In space, you can't rely only on yourself. Collaboration is key. Lyra's smile widened. Collaboration? Yeah, that is why I like being with you. You think beyond yourself. You understand balance and trust. As they explored, a group of children approached, curious about Lyra. Are you really from another planet? One of them asked. Lyra laughed softly. Yes, I am. And I'm very happy to meet you. The children were delighted, asking questions about her world, her abilities, and even the spaceship. Lyra answered patiently, demonstrating small, harmless energy effects that made tiny lights dance in the air. The children clapped and laughed, fascinated. Ethan watched her interact with them, realizing how genuine and joyful she was. You're making them happy, he said quietly. I enjoy it, Lyra replied. Helping others, sharing knowledge. It's part of who I am. And being here with humans like you makes it even better. They continued through the city, visiting a cultural center where humans and aliens displayed their arts. Paintings, holographic sculptures, and musical instruments filled the space. Lyra's eyes widened as she explored the exhibits, touching sculptures and listening to music that blended human and alien traditions. This is incredible, she whispered. Art that transcends species, language, even time. Humans have a way of expressing themselves that touches others deeply. Ethan nodded. That's true. We create not just to survive, but to feel, to connect, and to share that connection. At a demonstration of alien technology, Lyra eagerly participated, showing humans and aliens alike how her abilities could manipulate energy safely. She floated above the crowd, creating glowing patterns that shifted and danced in harmony with music. Ethan observed, proud of how she could inspire admiration without coercion or dominance, simply through joy, skill, and her natural presence. You make humans want to learn from you, he said. And you make me want to learn from humans. She replied, her eyes shining. It is a balance. A partnership. That is why I am happy with you. Later, Ethan brought Lyra to a library filled with both human and alien knowledge, shelves stretched high, stacked with books, data crystals, and holographic archives. This is where humans preserve knowledge, he explained. We learn from the past to improve the future. Lyra floated through the aisles, touching data crystals carefully. Your kind values learning and wisdom. That is why humans can thrive among the stars. You adapt, you grow, and you inspire others. Ethan smiled. It's not just humans. Partnerships like ours. Humans and other species together. That's how we really succeed. Lyra's hand found his, squeezing it gently. And that is why I am ecstatic to be with you. Not because I must, but because I choose to. And choice, freedom, they make happiness stronger. That evening, they attended a celebration in the city's main plaza. Humans and aliens danced, sang, and shared stories. Bright lights illuminated the square, casting shadows and reflections on smiling faces. Lyra joined Ethan in the festivities, laughing freely, her joy contagious. "You humans know how to celebrate," she said, spinning around with delight. "It is not just for fun. It is for connection, for unity." "I like it," Ethan grinned. "Celebration is a way to remind ourselves why we explore, why we help, why we learn. It is about life itself." Lyra nodded, floating above the crowd briefly to watch everyone. "And humans, you are living proof of hope, courage, and creativity. That is why I admire you." As the night grew darker, they walked to a quiet overlook above the city. The twin moons of the planet glimmered in the sky, reflecting on the lakes below. Ethan leaned against the railing, Lyra beside him, their hands touching. "This place, it's different from anything I've known," Ethan said softly. "Humans and aliens living together, thriving together. It's inspiring." Lyra's violet eyes glimmered. "It is inspiring, and it shows what humans are capable of. Friendship, respect, courage, and hope. Your kind can make the universe better, one choice at a time." Ethan looked at her, feeling a deep sense of pride and purpose. "I want to share that with others. Humans and aliens, everyone, working together. That's the future I want to be part of. And I will be with you," Lyra said firmly, her smile radiant. "Not because I must, but because I want to. Together we can discover, learn, and inspire. That is the joy of partnership." The next day they explored the planet's surrounding wilderness. Forests filled with towering, bioluminescent trees, rivers of liquid light, and creatures that shimmered as they moved fascinated Lyra. Ethan guided her carefully, explaining human survival techniques and how to respect the local wildlife. "You humans are careful," she noted. "You explore, but you do not harm. You adapt, but you respect life. That is why you are admired by so many." Ethan smiled. "We've learned that cooperation matters more than domination. Helping others, respecting life. That's how humans thrive, even among the stars." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "And that is why I'm happy to be part of your life. You teach me about humans, and I teach you about my people. Together we grow." Over the next several days, they participated in workshops, taught young humans and aliens alike about cross-species understanding, and helped repair small ships in the colony's docks. Each experience deepened their bond, strengthened mutual respect, and highlighted the HFY theme. Humans are intelligent, adaptable, and capable of inspiring positive change. One evening, while resting under a sky filled with stars, Ethan turned to Lyra. "You know, I never imagined life could be like this. Space, adventure, friendship, learning. It's more than I dreamed." Lyra floated close, her hand brushing his. "And it's only the beginning. Humans have potential, and together we can explore wonders beyond imagination." Ethan smiled. "I'm ready for it. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." "And that," Lyra said softly, "is why I am ecstatic. Not because of obligation, but because of choice, joy, and the adventure of life itself." As the twin moons set and the first light of dawn touched the planet, Ethan and Lyra prepared for the next stage of their journey. The universe awaited them with challenges, discoveries, and mysteries yet unknown. But for now, on this colony planet, they found a moment of peace, friendship, and understanding, a glimpse of the potential for humans to inspire and thrive among the stars. The stars called to them, and they were ready, together. The day began quietly on the colony planet. The twin moons had just set, leaving the sky painted in soft shades of purple and gold. Ethan and Lyra were preparing for another exploration flight, eager to see more of the surrounding star systems. "This morning feels promising," Ethan said, checking the ship's systems. "Clear skies, calm space, and no pirates in sight. At least for now." Lyra floated near him, her violet eyes scanning the horizon. "Promising is good, but space always has surprises. We must be ready for anything." Ethan nodded, appreciating her constant awareness. "You're right. Let's stay sharp." They lifted off, leaving the colony behind. As they soared through space, they noticed a faint energy anomaly ahead, a disturbance in the very fabric of the starfield. Ethan frowned. "That's unusual. Sensors are picking up fluctuations in the gravitational field. Could be a natural phenomenon. Or something else." Lyra's expression grew serious. "I feel it too. The energy is powerful, but unstable. We must investigate carefully." As they approached, the anomaly revealed itself, a swirling mass of energy, stretching across several kilometers. It pulsed with bright colors, bending light around it like a living prism. The ship's instruments went haywire, warning of unstable gravitational waves. Ethan took a deep breath. We need to study it, but carefully. We can't let the ship get caught in that. Lyra floated to the control console, her hands hovering above the screens. I can sense the energy patterns. Together we can stabilize the ship's trajectory and collect data safely. Ethan nodded. All right, let's do this. The next several hours were tense. Ethan piloted the ship through shifting gravitational currents, while Lyra manipulated energy flows to stabilize the craft. Every movement required precision, coordination, and trust. The anomaly pulsed unpredictably and the ship rocked dangerously, yet their combined skills allowed them to maintain control. You're incredible, Ethan said, gritting his teeth as he adjusted the ship's thrusters. I couldn't do this without you. And you are remarkable, Lyra replied. Your human instincts, quick thinking, and creativity, they make this possible. We are stronger together. Finally, they reached the center of the anomaly. Lyra extended her hands, glowing faintly as she touched the energy currents. I can feel it. It's alive but not hostile. It's like it wants to be understood. Ethan studied the instruments. Then let's learn from it. Observe, adapt, and respond, just like we always do. For hours, they carefully analyzed the energy anomaly. Ethan adjusted the ship's instruments to capture readings, while Lyra's abilities allowed them to interpret the data in ways normal sensors could not. Slowly, patterns emerged, a rhythm, a pulse, a flow. They realized that the anomaly was not a threat, but a natural energy phenomenon that could be harnessed to improve navigation and communication across vast distances. We did it, Ethan said, exhaling with relief. We figured it out. Lyra smiled, her eyes shining. Together we can understand even the most mysterious forces in the universe. Just as they began to relax, a warning tone blared. Another fleet of pirate ships had detected the anomaly and was approaching fast. Ethan's eyes widened. They followed us. They want the anomaly's energy for themselves. Lyra's expression hardened. We cannot let them misuse it. But we can stop them together. Ethan and Lyra sprang into action. Ethan piloted with skill and precision, dodging incoming attacks, while Lyra used her energy manipulation to create illusions, shield the ship, and redirect the pirates' weapons. Their teamwork was seamless, each anticipating the other's moves without speaking. You're fast, Ethan said, twisting the ship to avoid a laser blast. Even for humans, I mean. And you are clever, Lyra replied, diverting energy pulses to confuse the attackers. Humans and companions make excellent strategists. The battle continued across the swirling energy currents of the anomaly. Ethan's piloting combined with Lyra's abilities allowed them to create a protective path, funneling the pirates into a safe trap where they could be immobilized without harm. Within moments, the pirate ships were disabled, floating harmlessly as their systems were temporarily shut down by Lyra's energy pulses. Ethan exhaled, feeling the adrenaline leave his body. We did it. Again? Yes, Lyra said, floating close. But more importantly, we protected something valuable and we did it together. That is the strength of partnership. With the pirates dealt with, Ethan and Lyra returned to the anomaly to finish their research. Their data revealed ways to stabilize energy flows, create sustainable power sources, and even improve faster-than-light travel. The discovery was a milestone, something that could benefit countless civilizations. You humans, Lyra said softly. Your kind is remarkable. You do not only survive, you explore, you learn, and you improve the universe around you. That is why I admire you. Ethan smiled, feeling a deep sense of pride. We don't do it alone. Partnerships like ours, that's how humans thrive. With trust, respect, and collaboration, we can achieve almost anything. As they prepared to leave, the pirates eventually retreated, understanding that humans and their companions were a force to be reckoned with. Ethan and Lyra returned to the colony planet as heroes, greeted with cheers and admiration from both humans and aliens. Celebrations began immediately. Streets were filled with laughter, music, and light displays. Ethan and Lyra joined the festivities, their bond stronger than ever. Lyra's joy was evident as she danced, shared stories, and taught curious onlookers about the anomaly they had studied. You see, Lyra said, laughing as they rested for a moment. Humans make a difference not by fighting alone, but by using intelligence, courage, and partnership. That is why your kind thrives, Ethan nodded. And having someone like you by my side, it makes all the difference. The following days were filled with lectures, workshops, and demonstrations. Ethan and Lyra shared their experiences, teaching others about teamwork, exploration, and mutual respect. Young humans and aliens listened in awe, learning how collaboration and trust could solve problems far beyond what any individual could accomplish. "You inspire more than just humans," Lyra said one evening, floating above a group of eager students. "You inspire hope, courage, and curiosity. That is what makes humans truly extraordinary." Ethan looked at her, feeling proud and humbled. "And you inspire me. You make me see things in new ways, push my limits, and embrace life fully." Together they had not only discovered the anomaly, but also left a mark on the colony planet, showing how humans and companions could work together for the greater good. Their partnership was a living example of the HFY theme. Humans were capable, intelligent, brave, and inspiring. As the celebrations wound down, Ethan and Lyra stood on a high platform overlooking the city. The twin moons were rising again, casting silver light over the buildings, rivers, and forests. "The universe is vast," Ethan said quietly, "full of challenges, mysteries, and wonders. But no matter what comes next, I know we can face it." Lyra smiled, her hand brushing against his. "Yes, because together we are unstoppable. Not through power alone, but through trust, choice, and joy. That is the true strength of humans and companions." Ethan felt a warmth spread through him, knowing that this was only the beginning. The universe awaited, full of stars, planets, and mysteries yet to be discovered, and he would face them not alone, but with Lyra by his side. She looked at him, eyes shining with excitement. "I am ecstatic," she said softly. "Not because I must be here, but because I choose to, and that choice makes everything brighter, better, and more alive." Ethan smiled, squeezing her hand. "Then let's keep choosing together, always together." The twin moons reflected on the lakes below, casting a serene glow over the colony. Above them, the stars sparkled endlessly, a promise of adventures yet to come. Ethan and Lyra, human and companion, explorer and guide, stood ready for whatever the universe had in store. The galaxy was vast, the challenges many, and the mysteries infinite. Yet together they were prepared, humans and companions, friends and partners, explorers of the stars. And in that partnership they found courage, hope, and a reason to believe in the extraordinary potential of humanity. With hearts full of joy, minds ready for discovery, and spirits united in trust, they looked to the stars, knowing their journey had only just begun. The universe awaited, and they were ready.